There exists a state of mind where abundance is no longer desire, no longer a distant hope, and no longer something postponed to a future that never arrives. In this state, abundance is not chased. It is assumed. It is not earned through strain. It is experienced as atmosphere. You live inside it the way you live inside air, without effort, without debate, without fear of losing it. Most men never enter this state. Not once. Not even briefly. They work harder instead. They discipline themselves. They wake earlier, sleep later, read more books, set more goals, repeat more affirmations. From the outside, they appear committed. From the inside, something feels hollow. A quiet sense that no matter how much effort they apply, life remains resistant. Progress feels temporary. Success feels fragile. Prosperity arrives only to disappear again. That emptiness is not failure. It is misalignment. The greatest lie ever sold to men is that abundance must be forced, that struggle proves worthiness, that effort alone bends reality, but the truth operates by a deeper law. Abundance is not something you take from life. It is something life releases to you when your inner state permits it. Abundance is not created through tension. It is unlocked through alignment. And alignment does not begin in action. It begins in the subconscious. This is why discipline without inner agreement collapses. This is why motivation fades. This is why men succeed briefly, then return to familiar limits. They attempt to build a new life with an old inner identity. The subconscious, loyal and exact, restores what it knows best. But tonight marks a separation point. Not through effort, through surrender. Not through force, through permission. As your conscious mind rests, a deeper intelligence begins to operate, a law older than ambition, stronger than willpower, and immune to noise. This law does not respond to begging. It does not answer struggle. It moves only when the inner world reaches harmony. Most men never discover this because they are too busy trying to control outcomes. They exhaust themselves managing effects instead of commanding causes. They fight circumstances without realizing that circumstances are echoes. Here is the truth most avoid. Life has never been opposing you. It has been obeying you. Every repeated limitation, every recurring setback, every pattern of lack has been the faithful execution of an inner instruction, not conscious, subconscious, silent, persistent. The subconscious does not judge commands. It fulfills them. If it has been fed fear, it produces delay. If it has been fed doubt, it creates obstacles. If it has been fed scarcity, it protects scarcity. And if, just once, it is fed abundance as certainty, life begins to reorganize with startling precision. This is why sleep is sacred. When the conscious mind quiets, resistance loosens, the inner gate opens, instructions bypass analysis and reach the builder beneath thought. Most men waste this moment. They fall asleep in worry. They rehearse fear. They replay regret. Night after night, they program tomorrow's limits. Tonight, you do not. Tonight, a different tone replaces noise. Not excitement. Not fantasy. Certainty. Certainty is calm. It does not rush. It does not argue. It does not need proof. It speaks softly and expects obedience. When the subconscious receives certainty, it does not question timing or method. It begins construction. This is the state few men ever enter. The state where abundance is not emotional, not dramatic, not desperate. It is normal. In this state, money no longer feels heavy, opportunity no longer feels rare, success no longer feels unsafe, life feels cooperative instead of hostile, decisions simplify, fear loses urgency, confidence stops performing and starts resting. You are not stepping into something mystical. You are returning to something natural. Abundance is not foreign to you. It has only been unfamiliar because fear was familiar, lack was repeated, doubt was practiced. The subconscious learned those rhythms well. But rhythms can be changed. And when rhythm changes, Results follow automatically. You are not here to fight your way forward. You are here to realign. The moment inner resistance dissolves, effort becomes leverage instead of exhaustion. Action becomes guided instead of frantic. Results accelerate without strain. This is why some men accomplish in 10 years what others fail to achieve in 30, not because they worked harder, but because they stopped working against themselves. As this understanding settles, do not force it. Do not analyze it. Do not try to believe it. Let it be felt. Feel what it would be like to live without inner conflict. To move without self-doubt, interrupting every decision. To rest without fear, whispering at night. That feeling is not imagination. It is alignment beginning. And once alignment begins, life has no choice but to follow. There is a truth so precise that most men spend their entire lives avoiding it, not because it is complicated, but because it is exact. This truth removes excuses. It dissolves blame. It exposes the silent architect behind every result. Your external life has never contradicted your inner world. Not once. Your income, your confidence, your relationships, your opportunities, your setbacks, none of them are accidents. They are reflections. Mirrors do not argue, they repeat. What you see around you today is not punishment, luck, or fate. It is instruction fulfilled. Most men attempt to change outcomes without changing the inner image that produces them. They seek better circumstances while carrying the same beliefs. They want new results from an old identity. The subconscious does not allow this contradiction. It restores familiarity every time. This is why progress feels temporary. This is why breakthroughs collapse. This is why success arrives and then quietly leaves. The subconscious is conservative. It preserves what feels normal, not what sounds inspiring. If struggle feels normal, it maintains struggle. If lack feels familiar, it protects lack. If doubt feels safe, it reinforces doubt. The mirror never lies. Look carefully at your patterns, not the events, but the repetitions, the same obstacles wearing different faces, the same delays returning in new forms, the same ceilings reappearing just when momentum builds. These are not external enemies. They are internal instructions executing faithfully. The subconscious is not your enemy, it is your most loyal servant. It works day and night without rest, without judgment, without question. Whatever identity you impress upon it, it protects and expresses. This is where real power begins, when blame ends. Once you accept that your inner world has been issuing commands, you regain authority. Responsibility is not guilt. Responsibility is control returned. You do not change your life by fighting effects. You change your life by changing the image that causes them. This image is not formed through logic. It is formed through repetition, emotion, and expectation. The subconscious builds reality from what you assume to be true when you are not watching yourself. That is why night matters more than day. During the day, the conscious mind performs, it negotiates, it adapts, it pretends confidence when necessary, but at night, performance ends, masks fall, fear speaks freely, doubt repeats its arguments, regret reviews the past, anxiety rehearses tomorrow. Each night, these emotions become instructions. Most men unknowingly program scarcity while they sleep. They fall asleep worried about money, uncertain about direction, replaying mistakes, fearing judgment, anticipating struggle. The subconscious accepts these emotional tones as truth and begins organizing life to confirm them. Then morning arrives, and the man wonders why nothing changes. But tonight, the mirror receives a new image. Not excitement. Not fantasy. Authority. Authority is the calm acceptance that your inner world leads and the outer world follows. It does not rush results. It assumes alignment. When the subconscious receives a new image consistently, it does not argue. it replaces the old one. This is not instant, it is precise. Just as years of repetition built your current results, deliberate alignment builds new ones. But the process accelerates quickly because the subconscious works without fatigue. It does not sleep, it constructs continuously. Once the image changes, effort becomes effective. Actions begin to compound, timing improves, decisions simplify. You find yourself guided toward opportunities you previously missed, not because they were absent, but because your inner state filtered them out. This is why two men can stand in the same environment and experience completely different realities. One sees obstacles, the other sees openings. One feels blocked, the other feels directed. The difference is not intelligence. It is not luck. It is not privilege. It is expectation. Expectation is the lens through which the subconscious selects reality. When expectation is rooted in lack, opportunity passes unnoticed. When expectation is rooted in abundance, doors appear before effort is applied. This is not optimism. This is conditioning. You are not here to hope for change. You are here to instruct it. The mirror does not need convincing, it needs consistency. Each night you enter sleep carrying calm certainty, the subconscious records safety. Each night you replace fear with expectation, it updates instruction. Each night you release the old image, the mirror loses its power to repeat it. Soon, the external world begins to look unfamiliar, in a good way. Situations resolve more cleanly. Money flows with less resistance. People respond differently. Confidence stabilizes. Not because you forced change, but because the mirror received a new command. This is the moment most men miss. They want dramatic signs, they wait for proof before belief, but proof follows belief, not the other way around. The mirror must change first. Then the reflection follows. As this understanding settles, resist the urge to rush. Authority is patient, it does not demand evidence, it knows the law is already working. You are not fixing your life. You are correcting the image it reflects. And once corrected, the mirror has no choice but to obey. There is a level deeper than effort, deeper than belief, and far deeper than motivation. Most men never reach it because it cannot be forced, argued with, or intellectually conquered. It is not accessed through thinking harder, it is entered through frequency. Everything in life responds to frequency. Not words, not wishes, not struggle. Frequency. This is why two men can speak the same affirmations, work the same hours, follow the same strategies, and experience opposite outcomes. One advances smoothly, the other meets resistance at every turn. The difference is not visible on the surface. It exists beneath thought. In the emotional and energetic tone, the subconscious is broadcasting continuously. Abundance is not attracted by desire. Desire implies lack. Abundance responds to assumption. The subconscious does not create what you want, it creates what you expect. Expectation is felt, not spoken. It is the emotional climate you live in when no one is watching you, when no one is listening, when the mind is quiet. That climate is frequency. A man who expects struggle feels tense even when things are going well. He waits for the next problem. His body stays alert. His thoughts stay guarded. His subconscious receives one clear message: danger is normal, scarcity is familiar, delay is expected. Life obeys. Another man expects support, not excitement, not miracles, support. His mind is calm, his movements are measured, his emotions are stable, his subconscious receives a different message: safety, continuity, abundance. Life obeys again. This is why abundance often appears effortless from the outside. People mistake it for luck. They call it timing. They assume advantage. What they cannot see is the internal frequency that made struggle unnecessary. A man aligned with abundance does not chase opportunity. Opportunity moves toward him because his frequency recognizes it. He does not compete aggressively. He positions himself naturally. He does not fear loss because loss does not live in his inner climate. This is not arrogance. It is regulation. Most men live in emotional chaos. Their frequency shifts daily, confidence one moment, doubt the next, hope in the morning, anxiety at night. The subconscious receives conflicting signals and produces inconsistent results. Success followed by setback. Momentum followed by collapse. Progress followed by repetition. The law is exact. Consistency of frequency produces consistency of results. This is why calm men advance faster than anxious ones. Anxiety is noisy, calm is directive. The subconscious responds to tone, not volume. Here is what few are told. The highest frequency of abundance is not excitement. It is certainty. Excitement spikes and crashes. Certainty remains. Certainty does not celebrate prematurely. It does not panic during delay. It does not argue with circumstances. It simply knows. When certainty becomes your baseline, life reorganizes quietly, delays shorten, resistance weakens, you find yourself in the right place without effort, you speak the right words without rehearsal, decisions feel obvious instead of stressful. This is frequency alignment. And it cannot be faked. The subconscious detects false confidence instantly. It knows when words and feelings disagree. A man may declare wealth aloud while feeling fear internally. The subconscious ignores the declaration and obeys the fear. This is why repeating affirmations without emotional agreement exhausts people. They sense the contradiction. The inner conflict drains energy. Nothing changes. But when feeling shifts, reality follows. The most powerful moment to shift frequency is the moment before sleep. When the conscious mind relaxes and control loosens, the subconscious becomes receptive. It records the emotional tone of that moment as instruction. Most men use this moment to reinforce scarcity. They review worries. They replay regret. They imagine tomorrow's problems. Night after night, they broadcast the same frequency and wonder why life repeats itself. But when this moment is reclaimed, transformation accelerates. Not through visualization alone. Not through fantasy. Through emotional normalization. Normalize abundance internally before it appears externally. Normalize calm. Normalize expectation. Normalize stability. When abundance feels ordinary instead of extraordinary, it begins to materialize. This is why men who suddenly gain wealth often lose it. Abundance never became normal to them. It felt foreign, unsafe, temporary. Their frequency rejected it unconsciously. Sustainable prosperity requires internal familiarity. Tonight, that familiarity begins. You are not convincing yourself of wealth. You are removing resistance to it. You are not demanding results. You are stabilizing the frequency that produces them. This is why silence matters, why stillness matters, why peace is more powerful than motivation. When inner noise fades, the correct frequency emerges naturally. You do not need to force belief. You need to stop contradicting it. Let calm replace urgency. Let certainty replace hope. Let alignment replace effort. When frequency changes, action becomes effective without strain. Strategy works, timing improves, life feels cooperative instead of oppositional. This is the state where men stop chasing and start receiving, not because they deserve more, but because they finally match what they seek. Abundance does not respond to wanting. It responds to being. And being is frequency. There is a silent law beneath all visible success. It does not announce itself. It does not demand belief. It operates whether you understand it or not. This law is the difference between men who labor endlessly and men whose efforts compound effortlessly. This law is alignment. Alignment is not positive thinking. It is not motivation. It is not discipline alone. Alignment occurs when thought, emotion, and purpose move in the same direction at the same time. When they agree, power flows. When they conflict, energy scatters. Most men live in contradiction. They think success but feel fear. They speak confidence but expect disappointment. They set goals but doubt themselves in silence. The subconscious receives mixed instructions and produces mixed results. This is why progress collapses without warning. This is why momentum feels fragile. This is why success feels temporary. A divided inner world cannot sustain expansion. Alignment removes division. When thought, emotion, and purpose agree, the subconscious encounters no resistance. It moves forward without hesitation, organizing circumstances to reflect inner harmony. This is why calm men move faster than frantic ones. Haste signals uncertainty. Certainty speaks quietly. Alignment has no urgency because it expects compliance. Observe the man who is truly aligned. He does not argue with reality. He adjusts internally and lets the world respond. He does not explain himself repeatedly. He does not seek validation. His decisions are firm but unforced. Others sense it immediately. Alignment radiates stability. Stability attracts cooperation. This is why leadership emerges naturally from alignment. People follow those who are not internally conflicted. They trust certainty even when they do not understand it. Most men exhaust themselves trying to convince the world. The aligned man instructs his inner world instead, and the outer world follows automatically. Here is the error most never identify. They attempt to align action while leaving emotion untouched. They do the work. They follow the plan. They push forward. But beneath the effort, fear remains active, doubt persists, scarcity whispers. The subconscious hears fear more clearly than effort. Effort without alignment is resistance. Alignment does not require more work. It requires fewer contradictions. You do not need to add belief. You need to remove opposition. The law of alignment begins with awareness. Notice where your inner world argues with itself. Notice the quiet objections you carry. Notice the hesitation beneath ambition. These are not flaws. They are signals. Alignment is not achieved by fighting doubt. It is achieved by dissolving it through understanding. Fear does not need to be destroyed. It needs to be replaced. Replaced with certainty. Certainty does not come from evidence. Evidence follows certainty. Certainty comes from decision. When you decide internally that abundance is natural, fear loses authority. It may still appear, but it no longer commands behavior. The subconscious begins receiving a single instruction instead of conflicting ones. This is where power consolidates. At night, alignment becomes easier. The conscious mind relaxes its grip. Control fades. Inner noise softens. This is the moment to harmonize thought, emotion, and purpose. Not by repeating words mechanically, but by feeling agreement. Agreement feels like calm. It feels like relief. It feels like tension leaving the body. It feels like no longer needing to convince yourself. When that feeling becomes familiar, alignment stabilizes. Men who master this law save decades of struggle. They stop rebuilding confidence each morning only to undo it each night. Their inner world remains ordered, so progress compounds. This is why some men appear lucky. They are not rebuilding from zero every day. Their subconscious continues construction without interruption. Alignment also simplifies decisions. When inner conflict dissolves, choices become obvious. The mind no longer overthinks. Intuition sharpens. Action feels guided. This is not mystical. It is neurological and emotional coherence. The subconscious works best when it receives clear, consistent input. Alignment provides that clarity. To practice this law, release the need to rush. Urgency fractures alignment, calm restores it. Before sleep, allow the body to relax completely. Let the day release. Turn attention inward and ask a single question. Do my thoughts, emotions, and intentions agree? If not, do not force them. Simply soften the disagreement. Replace fear with expectation. Replace doubt with calm assumption. Say inwardly, without strain, my inner world is ordered, I move as one. Let the feeling of agreement settle. That feeling is instruction. The subconscious accepts harmony instantly. As alignment deepens, you will notice subtle but powerful changes, less resistance. Fewer delays, more clarity, better timing, increased confidence without effort. Life begins to cooperate because inner opposition has ended. This is not the end of action. It is the beginning of effective action. Aligned effort multiplies, misaligned effort exhausts. From this point forward, you are not forcing life forward. You are allowing it to unfold through agreement. This is the law that turns struggle into momentum.